Church here, and welcome to the Game Grinder, and today we are doing a pickup video. And last time I said I was going to try to do these more frequently and reduce the length, and that was totally my intention, but things kind of got away from me, so we got a few things to run through here, but I think it's all some pretty cool stuff, and hopefully I can help you discover some cool games you didn't know about maybe. So with that said, let's just jump right into it then. So I think we'll start off this one with some more like collectibles first before we get into the games. And like I said, this is a little bit behind here, so took a little while to get these. These are post Christmas pickups thanks to gift cards from the family. Decided to grab a few Totaku figures, and what better figures to grab than a couple of the recent Cyberpunk Totakus. So we got Johnny Silverhand, and then we got Male V. I didn't pick up the female V because I am ordering, or have on pre-order, a full-size like 10-12 inch statue of female V, kind of similar to those Witcher statues that I had gotten before. And then I also grabbed two other Totaku figures, Joanna Dark from Perfect Dark, and Lara Croft, and this I think is from the Temple of Osiris. So, you know, kind of like faux amiibos with no functionality. I still think they're pretty cool. And then, no stranger to this channel is a new book by Brett Weiss. This is the NES Omnibus, the Nintendo Entertainment System and its Games, Volume 1, A through L. And I'd previously done a review on the SNES Omnibus that he had put out. And much like those, I was fortunate enough to get an anecdote, basically a memory of Castlevania Simon's Quest included in this book. Fantastic books, very well put together. I think he does them better than everybody else, so definitely recommend checking these out. And he's starting up crowdfunding for the second book. Then next up is a figure that I was incredibly excited for. If you haven't seen my unboxing for the Final Fantasy VII Remake First Class Edition, I believe that's what it was called, that included a Cloud Play Arts Kai figure along with a Hardy Daytona motorcycle, and I had pre-ordered a Tifa figure, Aerith, as well as Sephiroth, and Tifa is the first one to be released since those, and of course I got Tifa. I'll show pictures of the figure. I have it set up on my shelf. I've heard there's some issues with production, but it doesn't seem like mine is one of the ones that was affected by that, I guess. I don't know, I think it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it, so not much else to say there. Tifa is one of my favorite characters from Final Fantasy VII, and she's just a downright awesome character. And then this one I actually forgot to include in my last pickup video. Nothing really special here, but this is a coworker of mine found a Mario Party 7 GameCube bundle box that was just chilling in his basement and asked if I wanted it, and I didn't have a boxed GameCube or anything. I have Mario Party 7, I have the microphone, so it's cool to have the complete set now. Alright, so let's jump into some games then. I guess kind of starting off here, we'll go with the I guess one retro game I have in this pickup video, and this is something I mentioned before. I've been playing through and picking up most of the Monster World series games. I think the last pickup video I had finally acquired Wonder Boy and Monster World, which is the third entry into the series, or fourth entry. It's one of those weird, the numbers are all out of order and everything. But anyways, that was the Genesis Monster World game, and the next one in the series was a game that actually was never released in the US, at least until way later when it was included in digital compilations. And that is Monster World 4, and this one kind of mixed up the formula, added a female protagonist named Asha, and there's actually a remake of this coming out pretty soon. I'm kind of less excited for the remake. I am going to pick it up, but they kind of went with like the 3D rendered style instead of like a hand-drawn art style or a pixel art style, but I still think it should be pretty cool. But this is actually a reproduction, just the case and the game, no manual included with this unfortunately, but I just like to have a physical representation. Got a pretty good deal with this. I believe I got this on Etsy. I don't think it was eBay. You can get some pretty cool reproductions on Etsy for a very, very fair price. And definitely recommend checking out this game. And I'm going to throw this in there just because a lot of people are kind of currently making jokes that we're finally getting to the part where some PlayStation 3 stuff might be considered retro. I don't think it's quite there yet. I think we have a few more years to go. A lot of people say like 15 years, then things kind of become retro. Last MGC, actually MGC 2019, since there wasn't an MGC Midwest Gaming Classic for 2020, I picked up Blades of Time, which is a pretty cool looking like action adventure game that was a spiritual successor to this game, and that is XBlades. Now XBlades is supposed to be not a very great game. Gameplay I guess is kind of rough, story's kind of rough. Basically everything about the game's kind of rough. Like they put a lot of work into the character and the character animations and just the character itself, but kind of fell flat with everything else. And Blades of Time was trying to do it again and do it better. And though I'm not going to play XBlades just because everyone says it's not great, I did play through Blades of Time and actually enjoyed that quite a bit. And because of that, I decided to pick up the spiritual predecessor, just to kind of have like the whole set, because that's kind of like what I like to do. So yeah, can't really recommend this game, but picked it up anyways. Alright, so let's jump into more modern games and new game pickups. So I'm not really sure where to start here. If you've been following me for a long time, it doesn't happen often, but I am a big fan of demo discs, especially PlayStation 1 era demo discs, even though I don't really have many of them anymore. I used to have a pretty large set before I started collecting that I got from a PSM magazine, or I guess that's kind of redundant. PSM was a PlayStation-focused magazine that there was two versions of. One version included a demo disc and the other version included fan art, and I used to collect both copies. Ended up dumping the entire lot of magazines and demo discs years before I started collecting. But yeah, I don't know, there's just something about demo discs, and I'm kind of in this kick right now to try to kind of get my hands on as many PSVR games as I can before they kind of become more rare or prices shoot up as they're moving on to the next gen. PSVR 2 has basically been announced. So with that said, I nabbed a few PlayStation VR demo discs, and I got a pretty good price on all of these. That's really why I grabbed them. So I'm not exactly sure what's on these. I haven't really checked them out yet. These were just kind of for fun, and they were super cheap, so why the heck not? So I got PlayStation VR demo disc, essentially demo disc 1, we got PlayStation VR demo disc 2, and PlayStation VR demo disc 3. And of course these have an assortment of various demos on them. A lot of games I already have, but once I finally decide to check these out, maybe I'll discover some other games I didn't really know about. And while I was at it, I also picked up PlayStation VR Worlds. Don't really know a whole lot about this one. This is pretty much came recommended as I was talking to some friends about this. Again, it's not exactly a demo disc, but it kind of is one of those things just to kind of showcase the PlayStation VR, I believe. Could be wrong on that, but you know, is what it is. Again, got it super cheap. And while I was looking at those games, I came across another PSVR game for stupid cheap, and for the price I was like, why not? I think this was $5, sealed, and that is Starblood Arena. Pretty much know nothing about this, although I did check out some trailers and I thought it looked kind of neat, but for the price I was like, what the heck? Then, keeping up with the ridiculousness of some of my collecting, I've picked up a couple more Switch games, even though I still don't have a Switch yet. I do intend to get one eventually, but when I see good deals or some of like the limited release games, I decide to jump on those, and that's what I did. So one game that's really been a selling point for the Nintendo Switch for me is this game, and that is Octopath Traveler. And I was able to get a very, very good deal on this new copy. This is available on Steam now, so I could play it, not necessarily needing the Switch, but who knows, I might still just hold out. But this is a game I wanted to get. A very cool, retro-inspired JRPG. I've heard pretty much nothing but great things about it, and it's basically a big throwback to the classic, like Super Nintendo, maybe PlayStation 1 days of Squaresoft games. And when I finally do get a Switch, if I haven't played this yet, this will be probably the first game I play on that. And then the next game is a game I thought that looked pretty cool. But really a big selling point for this game was a friend, Mike from Dongled, also dude, you haven't played this game yet, did a guest voice in this game. So I was like, hell yeah, I want to pick that up. Pretty cool to have a friend in a video game, and that is Walkia, Reign of Dracula. And this is a very Castlevania-inspired platformer. I hear it's a pretty cool game, looks pretty cool. I hear it's very difficult, but, you know, being a Castlevania sort of game, that's not too surprising. And if you aren't familiar with Mike, check out his YouTube channel. It's called Dongled. He has a great series called Dude, You Haven't Played This Game Yet, which is basically his review series. He does some unboxings. He does some videos about like how to properly say certain names in games that's points of contention. He makes some pretty great videos. He also has a fantastic podcast called VGXM Radio. He previously had Pixel Tunes Radio, but it's basically a podcast focused on game music. He has guest hosts come on, composers, really fun podcast talking about some great video game music. So definitely check them out, check out the podcast, and check out the game. And I guess I could have probably led off this video with this one, as this is something I'm crazy excited for, or was crazy excited for. I mean, I'm still excited to have this. Something I was trying to get my hands on for months, and that is a PlayStation 5. So I did pick up a PlayStation 5. Not really much to show. Here's a picture of the box or something. But along with that, I picked up Demon's Souls. This was basically the system seller for me. I love From Software games, the Souls games, absolutely love them. Never had the opportunity to play Demon's Souls when it was on the PlayStation 3, so this was a no-brainer. This is the remake by Bluepoint Games. They are one of the best game remakers there are. They did the Dark Souls remaster. They also did Shadow of the Colossus remake, and basically they don't really change much. They do the game true to form, but enhance mostly just the visuals. Some little tweaks here and there for maybe gameplay to like quality of life improvements and things like that. And of course, I have played through this, beat the game, absolutely loved it. Demon's Souls is fantastic. Then, for the heck of it, because I love this game and I'm kind of slowly building like a little mini collection around it, wanted to pick up the enhanced version of it, and that is NieR Automata, and this is the Game of the Yorha edition, which is basically just the Game of the Year edition. Includes the DLC. There might be some like minor patching to the game, not really much to actually improve it much, I don't believe, but got a really good deal on this, so decided to pick it up. Absolutely love NieR Automata. It was my Game of the Year of 2017, I believe, was when it was released. Absolutely love this game. The soundtrack is amazing. Love the characters. Love the story. If you haven't played it, absolutely do play this game. It is awesome. Awesome. And when you see the credits, keep going, because this is a game that presents itself in a very unusual way. If you listen to the Game Tennis podcast that I co-host with Jason of Corpus Love Gaming, you've heard me rant about why these developers decide to throw in like faux credits when the story's not over. NieR Automata is one of them. Gravity Rush 2 is another game that does that. Dragon Quest 11. But this actually has well, really it's 4 kind of like playthroughs. You don't like playing through the game again. You play through the first story arc, and then you kind of play through an abridged version of that again from another perspective. It's awesome. Just play through the game until you get the main ending, which you know what it is when you get there. And then next up is a game that I was really excited for. Really enjoyed the first game. Covered that on a pickup video back when it was first released. And I picked up Little Nightmares 2. This is a side-scroller kind of like adventure game with like a horror theme, kind of puzzle platforming and whatnot. No dialogue, no direct story. It's all kind of, you piece together the story with the visuals and the events that you see happen. And absolutely fantastic. I love this game. And funny enough, I was kind of disappointed because the first game came with like a little limited edition kind of collector's edition that was super affordable. I think it was only like maybe like $20 more than the game itself. Maybe it was only like $60, because these are, since they're a smaller game, they're cheaper. They're not full price $60. I think this was $40 brand new. But funny enough, unfortunately, no collector's edition or anything for this game, or so I thought. This is one of those ones, for some reason, it's a victim of this, for some reason, publishers think North American gamers don't want fancy collector's editions or limited editions. We get screwed out of so many these days. Europe gets them, Japan gets them. I just don't understand. Yeah, so after I got the game, after I beat the game and was just looking up some things, you know, like story analysis kind of things, kind of getting some other people's thoughts on it, I discovered that, sure enough, there was a collector's edition or limited edition of Little Nightmares 2, and I decided to go ahead and order that, and that is the Little Nightmares 2 TV edition, and this was crazy affordable. I think I paid, it might have been 50 or 60, because this is an import. I had to order this from the UK. I bought this on Amazon, UK Amazon, and I think with shipping it was, I think it was $60, because just crazy how affordable this is, and this is what I originally wanted. No regrets. This is a game I don't mind double dipping for, as cheap as it is. Comes with a little statue with 6, and I don't know, I can't remember what the protagonist's name is, but neat little collector's edition, so happy to grab that. Alright, and then as is tradition with the Game Grinder pickup videos, we've got some limited run games, so let's go ahead and jump into those. First one here was one that I was very excited for. This is a game that I've been holding out in hopes that they did a physical edition, and sure enough they did, and that is Blaster Master Zero and Blaster Master Zero 2, and this is a combined collector's edition from Limited Run, including both games. I haven't opened this up yet, definitely will do so, but decide not to do an unboxing video. Actually, if you want to see a cool unboxing video for this, Mike of Dongold actually did one on his channel. It's pretty neat. This comes with the games, kind of have like a faux NES cartridge, and then there's little like pewter tanks of Sophia, the tank that you play as. Really cool collector's edition. Super happy to have that. Heard nothing but pretty good things about the game. I actually just finally played and beat the original Blaster Master, but yeah, this is a reboot series by NT Creates. I think it's kind of just more of the same, which is definitely not a bad thing. I've kind of avoided a lot of information as these were games that I wanted to play, but stoked to have this collector's edition, and I think I'll be playing these games pretty soon here. And then, of course, as always, they come with the trading cards as well. And then next up, this was kind of just a what the heck. Partially as a joke, but many of you know that I am a kind of more PC-focused gamer. As much as I love my console games, I love PC gaming. And I picked up Chex Quest, big box PC edition. Chex Quest was basically a Doom mod, officially made Doom mod by Kellogg's or whoever, General Mills. I don't know who makes Chex, I can't remember. But it's a game where you're playing around, running around like trying to get Chex cereal, or I don't really remember exactly what the story is about. I actually have never played it myself, but decided to pick up this game because why the heck not? And of course, as always, it comes with the bonus art card as well. Let me know if you've ever played Chex Quest. Then next up here from Limited Run is the Metal Slug Anthology, and the art card with that as well. And I've actually never really played much Metal Slug at all. There have always been games that I've wanted to play, I just hadn't for whatever reason. And this is a collection of Metal Slug, basically like the 7 Metal Slug games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then X, but X is like 7 or a remake or something. Not exactly clear on those, but hey, now I can play the Metal Slug games. This is probably one of the more frivolous purchases that I could have made. Actually, would prefer to have the original just because it's the original version, but can never go wrong with more Doom. I picked up Doom 64 on the PlayStation 4, which I think is very funny to say, but I'm pretty happy that Limited Run did a release for this, so you can play Doom 64 on modern consoles, not have to bust out the Nintendo 64. I'm not a Nintendo 64 fan per se. There's some pretty cool games, but if I don't have to hook it up, hey, That's a win, I think. So Doom 64 is the Doom game on Nintendo 64. Not sure what else to say about that. It's more Doom. Of course, we get the art card with that as well. And then moving along, we got Gal Gunvolt Burst, along with its art card. And I don't know a ton about exactly this entry into the Gunvolt series. I know there's multiple playable characters in this. They're basically your action platformers. I think this was released under a different name on a different console, on the 3DS maybe. But this is a series that I'm basically getting all the games, and I will play through them all at some point. I just haven't gotten to them yet. Then next up is another game collection, and that is the Grandia HD collection, along with its art card, upside down. There we go. Some years ago, I did pick up the original Grandia on the PlayStation 1. I believe it was also on the Dreamcast or Saturn. Not exactly sure on that, but I've been meaning to play that for quite a while. Pretty much all my friends are into RPGs, say Grandia is fantastic, and this is the collection that includes Grandia 1 and 2. I thought there was a Grandia 3, maybe I'm wrong about that, but hey, we got both games on the Nintendo Switch, and that Nintendo Switch collection is growing and still no Nintendo Switch. And then lastly here from Limited Run is Space Channel 5 VR. I have the original Space Channel 5. It was a Dreamcast game, kind of a fun, like, rhythm game, but I thought it would be a neat game to play in VR. I've never actually completed this game, so, hey, maybe this is my chance. I don't know if this is exactly the same game or not. I guess I haven't really looked into it that much, but I was like, hey, cool VR, I'm gonna pick it up. Picked it up, and of course, it comes with the bonus trading card as well. Then into the last few games here. These are other limited releases, not from Limited Run. This one I was incredibly excited for, but at the same time, I was kind of disappointed that they only did a Switch release for this, as I really wanted to play this on the PlayStation, but it is what it is. This might be available on PC, I'm not sure, but decided to pick up the physical edition because I thought the game looked really cool. I absolutely love the releases that Special Reserve does, and that is Carry On. And this is a pretty cool kind of like reverse Metroidvania where you actually play as the bad guy, which is this creature that goes around like absorbing and eating everybody else to grow. Pretty wild concept. Actually, I haven't really heard much about it, but then again, I kind of avoided that information as I like to go pretty much spoiler-free as much as I can. So, but yeah, like I said, Special Reserve always does fantastic releases. I actually think they do the best version of these kind of games just because of what they put into it. They always do these nice slip covers. They generally include a hardcover manual as well as a softcover manual inside the game itself, and then they usually include extra goodies. So this one includes like these little kind of rubbery carry-on creature. Comes with a couple extra stickers, which I don't really care much about stickers, but they're there. And much like a couple of the previous releases that they did these like art prints on like acrylic or something. So it came with this little acrylic art print as well, and there's also this little cardboard stand it comes with, so you can display it if you want. But you know, it's very different. I think that's pretty cool. It's not an art book, but still, I think it's a pretty neat inclusion. And none of this drives up the price. They release all these games pretty much at the same price. So keep doing what you do, Special Reserve. You do you, because you do great. And then next up here was kind of another redundant purchase. I can't remember who initially released this, but then Limited Run had some copies to sell as well. So it's not actually a Limited Run release, but this is Hyper Light Drifter Special Edition on the Nintendo Switch. And I absolutely love Hyper Light Drifter. If you haven't, I did a review of this some years ago that I'm actually pretty proud of. It's a very, very cool game, especially if you love retro-inspired games and pixel art. Soundtrack's awesome, done by Disaster Piece. He also did the soundtrack for Fez. He did the soundtrack for a movie called It Follows, which is this really cool kind of like I don't really know how to explain it very well. Just check it out. And the big reason why I picked this up is because it also included the soundtrack and some other goodies. And I love Hyper Light Drifter. I have the PlayStation 4 version of this. I have a Super Nintendo reproduction that I Am 8-Bit did that came with a cartridge. I think there was a poster, might have been an art book with that as well. And I also have a little Drifter figure as well. So yeah, love the series. More than happy to triple dip on this, I guess. So yeah, Hyper Light Drifter, definitely check it out. And then last but not least here is a game I picked up through, I can't remember who, this might have been an I Am 8-Bit release for Annapurna, and this is Kentucky Route Zero TV Edition. This is a kind of very unusual indie game. I don't know a ton about it, but apparently there's like this this path or this road. I'm kind of vague on the details of the story. A lot of people said this is very cool, very different, very indie game, so I decided to pick this one up. And what was pretty neat with this is it also came with a bonus little slipcover. I haven't put it on the game yet, but that's always nice to get little unexpected extras. And yeah, definitely recommend checking this out. A lot of what Annapurna publishes tends to be pretty well regarded indie games, usually very unique, very different, I guess. But yeah, so that is it. Oh, lastly, I guess I should have probably started the video out with this as I normally do, but I also had a bunch of random Shantae additions to the collection that I have since put into the collection, as I am officially at this point have submitted my proposal for a certain record, so the ball is rolling on that. But I picked up a bunch of variants, region variants of Shantae Half Genie Hero, and got some other versions of Seven Sirens, as well as some pre-order bonuses that are very, very hard to come by. I'll show a picture of what I picked up. So pretty happy about that. So yeah, and like I said, the ball is rolling now with me picking up other region copies of Shantae games. I have a couple others on order. There's a few more I need, so I don't have everything as far as it comes to the different region releases of the games, but definitely getting there pretty soon. Still though, I will say, besides custom stuff, as far as it comes for officially licensed Shantae stuff, I'm pretty sure I'm unrivaled with the collection, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, well, hopefully this didn't go too long, and you're still with me here, and you've enjoyed the games that I've talked about. Maybe you found some games that you didn't know about that you are interested in checking out. If there are any of those, definitely let me know. What games do you think you'll be checking out? Have you played any of these games? As always, definitely let me know your thoughts. And also, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you next time on The Game Grinder.